In the bowl of your stand mixer, add in your warm cream and then taking your warm water. I just like to rinse out the liquid measuring cup so I don't waste any of the cream. Add your yeast and your sugar. Give it a good stir with your rubber scraper and let it sit while you get the rest of your mise en place. Next, we're going to weigh out our flour. So with our scale, put your bowl on top, click tare so it goes to 0. Then add 450 grams. I try to get it pretty perfect. A little bit over, so take a little bit out. Perfect, there you go. On a flat surface, crack your room temperature egg into a separate bowl. Check for shells. Add it into that mixer with your dough hook attachment and turn it on low. After it mixes, just for a few seconds, go ahead and add in all the flour. And then turn it on medium-low. You don't want to go too fast at the beginning or else you'll have flour all over your kitchen. As soon as it's been going for about 30 seconds or a minute, you want to scrape down the sides. See, that wasn't really getting incorporated into the dough. Use a rubber scraper, go all the way around. You want all the flour to be mixed in properly. After about a minute or so of mixing, you want to add in your 4 little pieces of softened butter. Let them incorporate and then stop the machine and add in your salt. Turn it on for another few minutes. Total, you're going to mix it on medium-low for 8 minutes, stopping in the middle to scrape it down. Now it has been a full 8 minutes. Turn off the mixer, lift it up, and this is what the texture should look like. It should be nice and running off. It is going to be a sticky dough, and that's what we want. Use a rubber scraper, reach down to the bottom, make sure there's no flour. Looks good. Now push up and twist to the left. Get that dough hook out of there. Use your rubber scraper and get all of the dough off of the hook. Pull the bowl out. And then we're going to use our little plastic dough scraper, and you're going to scrape down all the edges. On your clean counter, put a good amount of flour on there. Don't go crazy, but you want a good enough. With that scraper, put the dough on like basically a clump. Go all the way around. Y'all, seriously, make sure and get all that dough out of your mixer with your clean hands. Put some flour on there and shape your dough into a nice ball. You don't want to really knead it at this point. It's kneaded plenty in the mixer. You just want to get the outside dusted in a light layer of flour so that you can work with it. So I'm kind of just making it into a somewhat smooth ball so it makes it easier for me to work with. Plop it on the counter. I'm flattening it out, taking the flat side of my dough scraper, and I'm cutting it roughly down the middle. I'm going to take one of the pieces and work with one at a time. I'm going to roll it in the flour, again, so it's not too sticky to work with, and then flatten it out a little bit. All I'm doing here is just kind of eyeballing what I think is 5-ish equal pieces. They're clearly not perfect. I did my best, but the scale is going to make them perfect for us. We want each one of the balls to be between 85 and 90 grams. Again, make sure to zero your plate out. 88. There we go. Squish it. Moving on to the next. So we should get 5 dough balls out of each half of dough. There we go. 88. Anywhere between 85 and 90 is fine. Do this until all of your dough is cut into the proper size pieces. Now you're going to take it with your thumb and you're going to squeeze all the rough parts into the middle. And you want to clear the flour using like that part of your hand. Plop it down, roll it around, and then ideally put it directly onto your parchment lined sheet. So here we go again. With your thumb, squeeze all the raggy edges to the underneath so you have a nice smooth ball on top. Plop it down. I'm going to actually clear a better spot. Plop. Roll it around. You want it to grip the counter a little bit. That's how you make a better ball. Put it onto your baking sheet. Do this with all 10 of your pieces. Here's the last one. Plop. Roll it around. All right, perfect. Now we are ready to go on here. So here's the deal, y'all. Kind of like how cookies, we don't want to put them in a straight line just because they'll end up like growing together. So we want them to be separated. I like to do one up, one down, and then just spread them out. You want to leave a little bit of room so they have room to rise and then get bigger in the oven. Keep in mind that when you moved them, the shape kind of might have changed. So you want to go and make sure all the balls like are pretty round. If they're a weird oblong shape, then that's what your burger bun is going to come out like, and you do want them to be rounded. Use the center of your palm and gently flatten them. You don't want to flatten it like a pancake, but you want them to be fairly flat, or else your burger buns are just going to be too puffy in the middle. At this point, you're going to grab your the towel we use to dry our dishes, fold it in half, and then that should be perfect to cover it. We're going to let it sit in a warm oven, not oven on, just like an oven that's about 100, maybe 90 degrees. Y'all are going to use my oven in my kitchen. After about 25-30 minutes after they've risen, see they're a little bit puffier, you're going to cover them lightly with egg wash. You don't want it too much to where it's dripping down the side. I like to do half of mine with everything bagel seasoning. It's like a nice garlic onion taste. It's wonderful. There's them puffing in the oven. All right, timer just went off. 16 minutes later. Ooh, look how cute they are. Nice and golden on top. They're ready. Do not put these on the counter. It can burn. This is my stove. They're okay to go on the stove. Look how cute they are. Those will be used for French toast later. Of course, I love the everything bagel seasoning. Should be nice and golden on top. Once they've cooled completely, you're going to take a serrated knife and try your very best to cut it down the middle, half and half. And there's your burger bun. You can butter it, toast it, and eat it with your burger.